Good morning. This is Rhonda Smith, host of the Recover, Restore, Re-Energize Your Life talk show. And today's guest is Dr. Etti, the Juice Goddess. She is a holistic nutritionist, a juice and cleanse guru, and a healer. She's helped many people achieve their goals, whether it's weight loss, a healthier lifestyle, or getting sexier, or whatever it is they're trying to achieve in their health and wellness goals. Welcome, Dr. Etti. How are you today?
Thank you for having me. What a beautiful introduction. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And so I'm curious about, there are a lot of people who actually do juice for various reasons, and whether they do it the right way or not, I'm not sure. But just tell us, what is the basic premise of juicing?
The basic premise for juicing is to use the juicing as a vehicle of transformation. I have been juicing for many years, and I've seen thousands of people, and again, as you said before, doing it correctly, going through a physical, emotional, and spiritual transformation. So if you take the juicing and really learn the benefit of what it does for you, then you see that it really connects you to your own authentic rhythms. And the rhythm that I'm talking about is the rhythm of nature, of Mother Earth, of Father Sky, of really realizing that innate power within you that you can reawaken when you drink those juices. And as we know, modern life kind of takes us away from those rhythms, that natural rhythm that should be our core essence, but it just takes us away because we spend hours on end in front of the computer. It's because we live a very stressful life. It's because we eat processed food, and on and on and on. That is essence, that connects us back, brings us back to alignment, can be very much juicing. It has that, of course, divine nectar that you drink, and within 30 minutes goes in throughout your body. It has the ability to not produce free radicals because you're not using digestion. And also, beyond that, it carries consciousness. And the consciousness is one that brings you to a high and fast level of awareness because you're becoming like the tree, because you're becoming like the plant, because you are what you eat, you are what you drink. So it's a wonderful premise. The only thing is that you need to do it correctly. And as you said before, it's really important.
Right. And so speaking of doing it correctly, what does that really look like, and what should people be mindful of when they actually start a juicing program, whether they do it on their own or work with someone who's a professional?
Well, the thing is that either you do the juicing, which you can do a juice every once in a while, or you do a cleanse. So let's differentiate that. But if you do just the juicing and you decide to do a juice a day, yeah, you need to really make sure that you're not highly toxic. Because if you're highly toxic, even one juice a day can take you into kind of a withdrawal or what I call a healing crisis. And then you're going to say, oh my God, I have a headache, joint aches, something in my stomach, I have gas. You kind of maybe might stop juicing, and that's the wrong way. Don't stop, but just make sure that you're starting it very gently and correctly. And so, God forbid if you have candida, don't do highly sugary juices. Even beet has a lot of sugar, carrot has a lot of sugar. So start with 80% vegetables, 20% fruits.
Okay. So how do you tell if you're actually, you said start making sure you're not toxic from the very beginning. How do you actually figure that out?
Again, it's very individual, and sometimes when we are toxic, we're not really realizing it. That's the problem with being toxic. You don't really realize because you're so fatigued, and you don't realize, oh my God, something is wrong and I need to do something about it. But essentially is feeling yucky. You wake up in the morning, you're not feeling yourself. You have fog, you have fatigue, you can't focus, you can't concentrate, you are moody. It's not necessarily like symptoms you can pinpoint. Your digestion does not work correctly. You are either constipated or you have the runs. Your hormones are out of balance. you might be overweight. There's a lot of, kind of random symptoms that can definitely give you an indication that you're toxic.
Okay. Okay, so it sounds like a lot of us might fall into that category, actually. And I think it goes back to something that you said in the very beginning about our lifestyle and how we live our lives every day and the stresses that we confront on a daily basis. And also what we put into our bodies, the processed foods, because we're accustomed to sort of doing things on the go. And I think a lot of us, for the sake of convenience, end up eating things that may not be the healthiest for us. Mm-hmm. And so it sounds like also what you're talking about in terms of, I guess, being toxic is also related to being a little bit out of balance or some sort of system imbalance. Is that correct?
Absolutely. The body gives you warning signs. Disease does not just erupt one morning and you're sick, God forbid, with cancer or something serious. The body gives you a warning signs throughout. It gives you, this headache. It gives you this joint aches. It gives you this fatigue. It gives you these marks on your skin, and all these ailments needs to be looked at. So our lifestyle is such that we need to really pay attention to these very subtle warning signs and stop whatever we are doing and really realize that toxic thoughts, toxic foods, even toxic relationships, toxic work place can be really damaging. So all these things we need to really, really pay attention and stop before it gets to whatever how many years later, and you got a full-blown disease, and that's unfortunate because you didn't read the warning signs along the way. Right.
Good point. And so something that you said earlier about the balance of vegetables versus fruits and juicing. I know some people have told me that they juice in the morning or they drink a juice or a smoothie in the morning, and what they tell me is it's mostly composed of fruits. And so, I mean, I'm not an expert like you, but I know one of the things that's important to do is incorporate more leafy green vegetables instead of just having it all based on sugar, even if it's natural sugar. Right. Because from a metabolic standpoint, that's probably not a good thing to do first thing in the morning. Would you agree?
I agree with you. The thing is that we have, as it is, we have a weakened immune system and weakened digestive system. Because just, the life we live, it's, as we said, the lifestyle is highly stressful. There's a lot of chemicals, a lot of processed food, and we really need to be cautious. So if you wake up in the morning and you feel like having something like a juice or a smoothie, that's great. Go ahead and have it. But if you load it with sugary, even fruits, it can be papaya, mango, what else they like to put in, kind of a lot of carrots.
Or apples, yeah.
Apples, all these things. I would really caution with overloading. So do berries instead. Do what my teacher says, Dr. Gabriel Cousins, more of the phase one. It can be the green apples. It can be the grapefruit. It can be the berries. All types of berries. The blueberries, the raspberries, the blackberries, just the strawberries. They're magnificent, and they give you the sweetness that you require without, raising your glycemic index to a level that, is just not good for you.
Right, and those are also more highly antioxidant type of fruits. Is that correct?
Absolutely, it is, and by that also you can, if you can see the amazing array of berries, you can see that they have different colors, and if different colors will give you different antioxidants. So just select from each and every one, and that way you get the array of antioxidants.
Okay, so tell us your story. How did you actually become the juice goddess and become passionate about juicing?
My story. It's really very simple. I just wanted to lose some weight. I wanted to get married and be skinny in my, in my gown, in my wedding gown. The story is that my ex-husband and I, my husband Dan, we eloped to Las Vegas, and we got married after 4 weeks. And my mother-in-law, my future mother-in-law, was very, very upset. And we wanted, of course, to remedy the situation, and so we planned a huge wedding in Israel. And I had 5-7 pounds to lose. And as I was walking down Manhattan streets, I heard this, this happening was going on. And as I was walking in, this guy with the huge eyebrows were talking, and there's like tons of fruits and vegetables, and the juices were going on. And it was a juice man, it was Jay Cordish, talking about the benefits and the minerals and the vitamins, and it was so charismatic. And I joined the lecture. It was a free lecture. And I just was so amazed by how he looked and the way that his energy, and he had cancer, he healed himself, and I was inspired, really, really inspired. And I said, you know what? Juice. I'm going to lose 3 juice. Let me try how that works. And I did, and it worked. Okay.
And so where you initially started this journey, for lack of a better way to put it, for vanity reasons, it ended
vanity, simply vanity.
Yeah, right. But you ended up realizing, I guess, how did you feel after you lost the weight?
The thing is that in the beginning I just did it, it was kind of like immature way, and I lost the weight. It was wonderful. But then when we came back, it's kind of you get into a community, people who juice, and especially then, we started, it was many years ago. It was a farmer's market in downtown, by Union Square, and all of us will gather together, and we would talk about what the recipe of the day, and we bought all the the juicy apples and the juicy carrots and it was then it took a while, but it became a way of life for me, so through that, I kind of, through the community, through the wonderful people that I got to meet, I kind of was inspired to kind of shift, I guess, my way from and then by then I was a therapist, to shift my way from healing myself through figuring out what's wrong with me, and kind of like, talk therapy and analyzing. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I kind of went into more of a healing place where I can really, really do something like a cleansing. Let me cleanse, forget about the past, not worry about the future. Focus on healing me right here, right now, and go through that type of a process. And I started with the cleansing.
Okay, and so it sounds like
I shifted from the juicing to the cleansing.
Okay, and so it sounds like when you talk about cleansing, it's not just cleansing the body, but it's also cleansing the mind, body, and spirit to some extent.
Absolutely. It's just part, and it's not necessarily that you need to plan it. It's just a surrendering process, actually. You just let the juice in the body, do what it does best, and let the healing process start, and surrendering to the healing process, because with the healing, some things come up, either on the physical level, on the emotional level, psychological level, spiritual level. A lot of the body goes into an autolysis process, which is a purging process. The body digests itself, and it discards of damaged, diseased cells, and by that, a lot of things are kind of, coming out for you, and not necessarily that it's pleasant, but you have to look at it, and it's kind of like a mirror, it's kind of your life coming up, and you have to be courageous to see it, to face it, to be accountable for it, to take responsibility and say, you know what, I can heal it. And it's not necessarily, forcing the healing. It's just being, like Gandhi said, being the change you want to see in the world. Just, take a different shift, take a different perception of how you look at yourself and your life, and just move a little bit. And then your life shifts around you. There's a kind of a movement. And it's not a huge shift. It's very, very simple and very gentle. and I love it. And as you go, you know, as your life shifts, it shifts every time. It shifts a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more.
Okay. It sounds like your approach to juicing is really transformational for your clients that you work with.
It has to be. It has to be whatever tool you're using, and not, you know, and people can choose whatever other things than juicing. For me, juicing worked, and it worked because it's a complete transformation. You have to, in order to evolve, you know, you need to grow. You need to become aware. You need to awaken. So whatever it is that awakens you, that's great. For me, it worked through really going through the ortholysis process, clearing the garbage. You know, it's like I can use the metaphor of a hot air balloon. You know, if you want to ascend, if you want to lift on a hot air balloon, if you have the sandbox inside, you won't be able to lift. You have to take off the sandbox in order for you to, you know, lift. And
Right.
as you lift, you get the bird's view. You know, and you kind of see the melodrama in your life, and you say, "Oh my God, is that what, you know, occupied me?" You know, that's the little thing. You know, why do I sweat the small stuff, right? So you get the bird's view, and you get that freedom. You get the truth about your life. You get that ascension, and it's wonderful. I mean, that's where you want to go. And not that I'm saying that it's always kind of beautiful and rosy. It's not. You know, there's challenges. As you come up, there's challenges, and you know, some things will kind of like try to get you down. But you know what? You be courageous. You allow yourself to be vulnerable. You know that your purpose is to ascend, and you keep on. You keep on moving.
Right. And so I think what you're talking about is something that a lot of us may face. It's holding on to things that weigh us down or hold us back or keep us from moving forward. And like you said, rising above kind of all the fray and all the negativity that may happen in our lives too, which actually is kind of ironic since yesterday was also Easter, and we're talking about the whole, you know, rising above all that and really kind of resurrecting ourselves on an individual basis.
Absolutely.
But perhaps doing that in, you know, transformational way through juicing. So is this what the Sexi Juicing program is really based on and what it's all about?
That's very symbolic of what you said about yesterday, and about resurrecting each other, you know, individually, and then, of course, collectively. But yes, the Sexi with the I was meant, first of all, to shift away from how we look at sex today, and kind of make you think, what does that mean to feel sexy? And then I did it with the I because of the ascension, because the I, you know, is going up. And it's very narrow, and it's always, you know, kind of going up to the sky to you know, never-ending, you know, unlimited potential, and that's what I wanted to bring about. I wanted to show people that ascension is unlimited. The opportunities are beyond the sky. The sky is not the limit. Now you might be here on the I, or you might be here. It doesn't matter. You just keep on moving, and you could keep on moving up. Yes.
So it's an evolution.
It's an evolution, and it's an evolution of what I call I am that I am. You know, and whatever, you know, you say I am, and whatever comes afterwards define you. So try to really make sure that you ponder on how it is that you're defining yourself, really making sure that you're not attaching to anything that is external, and really focusing on that essence and taking that with you and kind of continuously lifting.
That's it. So this is a very unique approach to juicing. I mean, most nutritionists that I have communicated with or familiar with don't look at juicing from this perspective, and that's of course because of your background as a therapist. But I think you know, it's really unique, and I think it's important that you mention, you know, it's about healing, the healing process too, but healing on different levels in terms of your overall well-being and your ability to really rise above it and be healthy on whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically, or even with your body and what's happening with it.
Absolutely, and I have to acknowledge my teacher, Dr. Gabriel Cousins. He was phenomenal. Phenomenal. He is a great teacher, ahead of his time, and a true healer. So, if there's anything that I'm taking here and showing to you and to my clients is because his amazing way of bringing that culture of cleansing and spirituality together and blending it in a way that is simple and just transformative all around.
Okay, so can you share with us maybe a success story that you've had with a client that you worked with?
I have so many. I have one that surprised me as well. Very famous actor, in one of the telenovela. Beautiful, beautiful woman. And I was very surprised when she came because I said, how can you be, just beautiful all around, didn't need to lose weight, seemed very radiant and energetic. And I think she wanted, I think then her purpose was to lose a few more pounds, which for me was, I didn't see any reason for her to lose any more weight. But essentially, of course, I accepted her. And she went through an amazing transformation, one of which, it started when she did one of her colonic hydrotherapy sessions. They found a Barbie shoe in her colon. She swallowed when she was a young girl, like 2 or 3, she swallowed a Barbie shoe. So as she was doing the colonic, they found something stuck in her colon. And then the next phase was that she had worms. She had parasites.
Wow.
And it was amazing to me to see that illusion, that when we see somebody beautiful, pretty on the outside, we think, oh my God, that is amazing. But then we don't really realize that we harbor things inside of us that really hinders our health, and she probably on a subconscious level knew it. And when it happened, when she was able to cleanse herself, my God, it was just completely. And then I saw, the beauty from within. You can see the skin cleared, her eyes looked bigger. She just came alive, and I was very surprised because it was the first story of somebody that was nothing that I could say, oh my God, you really need help. It was just a average person, doing a great work, having average energy, to do her. But then something kicked in. She was able to get rid of, that what you said, that thing that encumbers her, the thing that was heavy in her system, in her physical system, and her health just transformed, and she was healed. It was amazing.
Awesome. And so I'm sure there are a lot of people who probably want to achieve the same thing in life and feel the same way, including myself. So how can someone actually get in touch with you if they're interested in learning more about the Sexi Juicing program or just juicing in a healthy way in general?
Absolutely. Just email me or call me. It's easy to call me, 855-95-JUICE. So it's really easy to remember, 855-95-JUICE. Or look at my website, www.dretti.com, or email me at etti@dretti.com.
Okay. Any last thoughts or points or things that are important for people to really know and understand and take away about juicing, especially someone who may not be able to work with you directly but still wants to benefit from juicing?
Well, thank you first, Rhonda, for this interview. I really thank you, and I'm honored that you chose me to kind of spread my wisdom to your crowd. But something for everybody. I think that what we need to do is really realize that we require a shift. Instead of being a human doing, we really need to start making the shift of becoming a human being and become our best, whatever way that may be. For me, the juicing was the wonderful, wonderful way because it gives you the ability to start clean, on a clean slate. And that is a wonderful way to rebuild. You have to purify in order to rebuild. So in any way that you can purify, whatever way that may be, go ahead and do it so you can unshell, unshell that layer of conditioning and be able to bring that beautiful bulb inside of you and let it shine.
Okay, great. And so I thank you also for being available and for sharing your wisdom today, and I really appreciate it. And hopefully the audience can take some of the lessons that we heard today and implement them into their day-to-day life when they're thinking about juicing. And so this is Rhonda Smith, the host of the Recover, Restore, Re-energize Your Life talk show. It's the show where you learn how to live a more vibrant life from the inside out. Thank you for tuning in and have a great day.